The story you're about to hear is something that happened to me when I was approximately 13 years old. It all started with a reoccurring dream, 3 nights in a row, but each time the dream got longer. The first night I dreamed I was listening to music laying down in my bed at night, when suddenly the lamp on my bed side table turned off. I tried the lamp switch several times, but the lamp didn't work. Then I woke up. Even though it was an odd dream, I disregarded it as a random dream. The next night I had the same dream, but this time it was longer. I'm in my bed, listening to music when the lamp turns off. I try the switch several times and it does not turn on. But this time, because of my stretching to reach the lamp, I fell off the bed, and just as I'm starting to get up, I woke up. Having the same dream 2 nights in a row startled me, thinking it might be some kind of message. The third night, it was the same dream again. Me listening to music, the lamp turns off. I try the switch, fall out the bed, all the same. But this time, as I started to get up and look across from my bed, there was an undefined, shadowy silhouette. As my vision started to focus on the darkness and I tried to get a better look of this figure, I woke up, scared I might have the same dream again. I started sleeping with my head facing the opposite side of the bed. It seemed to work. I didn't have the same dream for weeks, until one night when I experienced one of the most terrifying moments of my life. I woke up in the middle of the night because my feet were cold, so I sat on my bed to cover them with the bunched up bed sheets at the bottom of my feet. As I laid back down on the bed, there it was. Standing at the right side of the bed was a dark, shadowy figure. The only thing visible was a pair of bright yellow eyes looking at me. Terrified, I stared at it for a few seconds, waiting for it to attack me. I did the only thing I could do, cover my head with the bed sheets and waited. The next thing I remember is waking up the next day. I told my family what happened immediately, but of course no one believed me and said that it was probably a nightmare. Was it a nightmare? It felt so real. Years later, I learned about sleep paralysis, so I convinced myself that's what it was. But something always bothered me. One of the main characteristics of sleep paralysis is the inability to move. I moved. I was moving when I saw the shadowy figure, so was it just a vivid nightmare? No, I don't think so. More than 10 years have passed since that night, and I still feel it. I feel that uncanny feeling of something looking at me. I'm always waiting for the day I look to the side and see those bright yellow eyes staring at me again. When I was a child, I suffered a lot from sleep paralysis. I still remember it vividly, as if it happened yesterday. My room had no door, only a curtain, since the wooden door had broken and was never replaced. Additionally, my house had a wooden and zinc roof with an open space between the rooms. On the walls, there were shelves filled with figures and toys. I was terrified of the dark when I was little, a mix of loneliness and fear, fueled further by my cousin who forced me to watch horror videos on YouTube to scare me. These two things intensified the episodes that I constantly suffered. Although the sleep paralysis episodes were frequent, it was always the same figure, the shadow of a man with sunken eyes, a big smile, and sharp teeth. He clung to the curtain of my door and moved with it during the night, but his eyes and smile were always fixed on me. Since I couldn't move, I used to try to focus on my toys and figures on the shelf to distract myself. After a while, I could see them moving, seemingly trying to warn me that there was something at the door. Then, when I looked at the door again, he disappeared. I looked at the toys again, and I could see that they were all looking up, frozen. Nervous, I tried to close my eyes and avoided calling my parents. Waking them would only make my father get angry. But I always ended up screaming, because when I opened my eyes, I could see the shadow up on the ceiling, clinging to the wooden columns. I had this dream, a whole day's simulation. Classes, work, the usual routine. but an eerie feeling of being watched lingered, like an unseen presence tailing my steps. When I arrived home, jumped into my bed to get some rest, but suddenly, chaos erupted within the dream. There was pounding on the front door, and I could hear as if my living room was being torn apart. I was paralyzed in my bed, so I could only hear the noises getting closer to my room. Then my door yielded to force, revealing a shadowy, ominous figure. It started getting closer, and all of a sudden, I could not breathe. As the shadowy figure was about to touch me in a surge of panic, I jolted awake, heart pounding, throwing punches into thin air, tumbling out of bed in a frantic frenzy. The dream was a surreal horror show in my mind. It was easily the most intense dream I've ever experienced. The unease it left behind had me on edge throughout the day, wary that the phantom presence might resurface. Yet, it made for a gripping story to share. The unsettling aftermath had me questioning reality for a while. Please subscribe to my channel and feel free to share your stories with me on Reddit.